This is a plug plant, by the way. This is what the video's about. How cute does that look? Let me just hold that up to the camera. How cute is that? How's it going, guys? My name's Andy from Urban Herbs, and in this video I'm talking about plug plants. Now, plug plants are something that we've had a lot of questions about over the last few weeks. On our Instagram channel, we actually put a shout out asking you guys what you'd like me to talk about when I talk to the camera here in the polytunnel for these YouTube videos. One of the questions that came up was talking about plug plants, about what they are, how to use them, how you can use them, and whether you should use them. And this video is going to talk about plug plants. It's really fun. They look absolutely great. There's a lot of advantages to them, some disadvantages. Let's get right into it. Let's start at the very beginning. This is a plug plant, by the way. This is what the video's about. How cute does that look? Let me just hold that up to the camera. How cute is that? Honestly, look at that compared to the size of my fingers. We find that on Instagram, pictures of these cute little plants get a load of likes. Let's start at the very beginning. What is a plug plant? Well, essentially, you should think of a plug plant as a halfway house between a seed and a fully grown plant. Plug plants can be sown individually or, more likely, in modular seed trays. So essentially, if the tray holds 50 plug plants, you get 50 little self-contained, beautiful baby plants, just like this one here. I think this came in a tray of about 100. Plug plants are essentially young plants that have either been propagated from a seed or a cutting. And if you are buying plug plants yourself, you're probably going to buy them in quite large numbers, I'll come to that later, that have been sort of specially propagated in specialist conditions, and you'll get a load of them, all the same kind, in a tray, about that size. They look really cool, and there's a lot of advantages to them. Let's get into what those advantages are. When are plug plants a really good option? Well, there's a load of situations where they are, and that is if you need to fill your garden with plants really cheaply, and you need a large number of plants, and it allows you to buy plants in bulk. Admittedly, you have to do quite a bit of the work, but it allows you to buy in trays of, say, 50 or 100 plug plants fairly affordably per plant. Plugs of this size usually come in trays of 50 or 100, so quite large numbers. But as I say, if you want bulk, really good option. Plugs are really, really easy to pot on. I'll show you that in a minute. They'll come in trays. They've got these individual kind of seedling elements to them. You could just take out the tray and pot them on really, really easily, and that's a really, really big selling point. It's about economy of scale, and also it saves you the fiddly hassle of propagation and division and seed sowing. So those are all the reasons why it might be a good idea to go down the plug plant route. There are also a lot of occasions when it's actually not the best idea to use plug plants. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're a lot of fun to plant on, they look really cute. But if you only want a few plants, it's probably more cost effective and simpler for you to actually buy just a few established plants. If you want 20 pots, each of a different variety, then buying those established plants is probably a good idea. But when it comes to the plug plants, if you want bulk, that's when you should go for. Another situation where you probably shouldn't use plug plants is where space is a bit limited, where you haven't got the space, like we have here, to pot on those plug plants and provide that bit of care. So those are a couple of reasons why plug plants are not such a good idea in those situations. You can't put these straight out into the garden. They're not ready for that. They're a halfway house between a seedling and an established plant. So what you're going to need to do is pot them on. So I'm just going to talk you through that process. The plug plants are going to arrive maybe in the post, maybe mail order, maybe you can collect them from a local garden centre wherever you are in the world. You're going to want to pot them on really as soon as possible. Allow them to acclimatise to where they are. If they're not hardy to the cold, if you get cold weather where you are, protect them for a little bit, allow them to get settled. You're going to want to transfer this little plug plant into a bigger pot. And in that bigger pot, it's going to get established and it's going to complete that transformation from the halfway house into an established plant that you can actually plant on outside or into a container. When I say plant it on, this is just a little 9cm pot that I filled with compost. And what you're going to want to do, I haven't firmed that down at all, it's all quite loose, so it's easy for the plant to get established. Make a little hole with your finger like that. That's really hard to do on camera. And then just pop the plug plant into the hole and then pack the soil around it, firming it down just a little bit. And then you wait for that plug plant to get lovely and established. And soon you'll see the roots coming out the bottom. And at that point, you know you've got an established plant that you can plant on outside. In terms of caring for the plug plant as it grows, just keep it watered. If it's not hardy to the cold, make sure you harden it off or protect it until the risk of frost has passed. This particular plug plant is a beautiful variety called Corsican Mint. Check out the video on our channel about Corsican Mint if you get a chance. I'll try and put the link somewhere up here. Corsican Mint is a really, really beautiful variety. It's a real pleasure to pot on a plug plant like this. That Corsican Mint smells absolutely amazing. I'm going to go and make a cup of mint tea now. Thank you so much for your time, guys. And if you've enjoyed this video, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, leave me a comment, tell me what you thought of the video. Until next time, guys, see you later. In terms of caring for that plug plants are essentially young plants. Plug plants are essentially young plants. Kind of like plug plants are essentially, when you're editing this, you're going to want to go back to the beginning, to the bit where you're talking about why you should use plug plants.